So we haven't had that yet. So atheists are not that motivated yet to put their atheism first. That's why this website isn't for everybody. Because, unfortunately, because it is nonpartisan and most atheists tend to be liberal. But if you find a politician based on state-church separation issues or the civil rights of atheists who we should endorse or should not endorse, there is a place at the website to send us that information so that we can share it with other people.
Well, and that's important. And the thing, this liberal, Republican, Democratic Party, it doesn't matter because as we've been revealing on the show and we'll continue to reveal on the website and with our guests even on this show tonight, a lot of these religious organizations are infiltrating the Democratic Party because they know they'll just automatically get those votes. So people need to be informed on where these people stand. It's just
right.
It's a good, excellent point. Well, Ellen,
right.
I want to, explore this with you further on another show if you're willing to do that, because
sure.
Especially with these elections coming up this November, I think we need to really pay attention.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that I'm aware of that has anything like this set up.
Right. Yeah.
And so I strongly endorse what you're doing, and anything that I can do to help out, just holler.
Thank you. Thank you. Just this plug is a big help. Thank you so much for that.
Our next guest is named Joe Zamecki. And Joe's been on the show before. He is involved he's the Texas State Director for American Atheists. He's been on the show promoting a service called Atheists Helping the Homeless, but he also organized a rally in Texas, I think it was May 16, for Texans for Truthful Textbooks. And, what's interesting after the fact with these polls is that 72% of Texans think that teachers and scholars, not elected school board members, should be determining the curriculum. 78% of parents felt this way. Another 68% of respondents believe that separation of church and state is a core principle of the Constitution. And, 59% of those people were self-identified as Republicans. And so, really, this whole thing that has gone on is against the will of the people. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Well, I have to admit, and I'm going to tell everybody publicly, this was your idea. You sent me an email, let's talk about this issue. And I think you told me it's been a wake-up call for free thinkers because the implications of this could be huge with textbooks being used by, what is it, like 28 states may possibly use this same, curriculum that's been, I don't even know what to put, spun by the Texas State Board of Education. What's the sense you're picking up out there in Texas?
Well, we had this great rally the other day, and it was a very festive atmosphere, but yes, we're all pretty concerned about this, and of course, not just the secular people, but a lot of religious people are aware and are very nervous about this as well, and but at our rally, we had a pretty good turnout, and we had a lot of people with some really interesting signs, and then we had a meeting afterwards a couple blocks away at a pub, and it was like a family reunion for a lot of us Austin activists, and a learning experience. A lot of young people there in the crowd, too, a lot of kids, and we had a lot of people on Sundays, of course, go to the state capitol who were just tourists, and also some youth groups, of course, and some church groups go there. So it was a steady flow of the general public there as well, even though it was a Sunday, and we got our message out. But yes, this is very disappointing, this next step that's taken place recently in the process of getting these changes cemented. And I think one really great photograph was put on the front page of the Austin American-Statesman recently that made it very clear what's happening here, I believe, is that the photo showed another white male Republican with a suit, business suit, looking at the camera with a really S-eating grin on his face, if you will, and across from him was the female educator among the people on the board because apparently most of them are not educators. But she was standing there talking to him, and the whole photo seems to say she was trying to reassure him that reality is still with us, even if they want to try to vote it out of history books and science books. And all the while, he's looking at the camera as if, and the media there, as if to say, why do they even try? We have the vote. This is not something to discuss. And this is one problem I have with democracy. I'm not afraid to tell people that every time there's a discussion among 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 people, and then they have a vote, and we already knew ahead of time how they were going to vote, the whole discussion seems pointless. But they tried, and they tried, and tried. And it really, literally, here in Texas, is a simple matter of having enough votes and the influence and power you need, and you can just drive home anything. And even these wild changes, and yeah, I understand that in California, some colleges have said that if high school graduates from Texas come to colleges in California to attend, they're going to have to take remedial classes on certain things because of this. And it's terribly embarrassing. I don't know what to say as a proud Texan because, this is not reflective of the majority of the people here. You mentioned that, I think. But at the same time, it's very difficult to get anything that's less than conservative passed in the form of a law or any other action on the politics of Texas. And also, by the way, I wanted to clarify something. I did not organize this recent rally. It was Kathleen Johnson of the Military Atheists, Agnostics, and Freethinkers, and that's very important because she worked so hard on that, and I absolutely don't want to steal any thunder there, but she was a dynamo and got so much done, and it's very important that we give credit where credit is due.
Well, that's good. Now,